listening to Speaking with One Voice with Rodney Payne. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, topics you'd like discussed on the show, or if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at rpayne@onevoiceinc.org. That's rpayne@onevoiceinc.org. You can also search for us on Acast, Google Play, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Just look for Speaking with One Voice. Now, here's your host, Rodney Payne.
Hello and welcome to Speaking with One Voice. I am your host, the coach, Rodney Payne. Listen, I am so excited to be back with you. We have been super busy and I have missed being with you, but I am back and we want to finish this year strong. So as always, thank you so much for liking our podcast, listening to it, rating it, subscribing to it, turning on your notifications. That's right. We're on YouTube at Rodney R. Payne, and we need for you to go and subscribe to that channel. You've been doing that, and I am grateful. Thank you. Listen, we have had our local Live to Lead here in Oklahoma City. It was a phenomenal event, and I just want to let you know up front, I have an opportunity for you. You can bring Live to Lead to your organization for a private showing, and we can literally pick and choose which presenters you'd like to see and develop a program developed just for your team. So make sure that you reach out to us by visiting our website, rodneyrpayne.com, or on social media at Rodney R. Payne. Simply message us and we'll be happy to get with you and share how we can help you bring Live to Lead to you. So as we get back on the track of adding value to you and your team, here's what I want you to do. I want to challenge you over the next 8 weeks. Don't miss a week. We'll be here every week, and we've got content for you that's going around this thought: the cost of not investing in leadership. The cost of not investing in leadership. Studies show that for every dollar you spend training and investing in leadership, it pays your organization back $7. It's 7 times. Every dollar gets $7. That's an amazing return. So today we're going to dig down with our first thought on this in our episode. We're talking about the hidden price tag of poor leadership. The hidden price tag of poor leadership. You all know my mentor by now. His name is John C. Maxwell. And one of my favorite quotes, he has many, but one of my favorite is, everyone deserves to be led well. Everyone deserves to be led well. And so what happens is you as a leader can become a better leader, and you can begin to lead your team well. So let's talk about this, the hidden price tag of poor leadership. So when we think about leadership investment, what I'm really talking about here is not just the dollars and cents, but those count as well. But how much time do you spend training and developing your leaders, investing in programs and things that will help you to raise your leadership lid? I know there's a part of my regular routine. One of the things that I do is I make sure that I include a leadership nugget in every meeting that we have. Many times when you begin leading and you've been leading for a long time, you develop habits and you do things that you know and that are intuitive to you. The challenge is what's intuitive to you may not be intuitive to your team. So you have to grow to that next level where you are willing to invest. That also means, yes, you're going to have to invest capital, invest resources, not just saying to invest to say I spent some money, but getting tailor-made programs that are customized to address your challenges. Because what happens in leadership is you have a desired outcome. You know where you want to take your organization, and you want to bring specialists in to be able to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. So it's going to take time. It's going to take financial resources. It's going to take effort. You're going to have to work at it. See, becoming a great leader means that you're going to have to take time to train and develop and pour into people. But I love adding value to people, so this is good for me. But when you think about it, what will happen is your organization is going to grow. But if you're unwilling to invest, you are going to pay a significant price for this problem. This is going to create a challenge, because when you don't invest in leadership, the best you can hope for is that you had someone come to you who was already trained and is a pretty good leader. The challenge with that is you will never have a leader who is better than you, who will stick with you. If you're not growing, you will stifle the organization because you will not value that other leader in the right way. And they're going to find someone that can help them to grow. Understand, you as a leader, you attract who you are. You don't like your team, they're attracted to you. So we have to be willing to invest. And if we're growing and we'll understand things like delegation, equipping, and empowerment, these things are going to help us to understand how to grow our team and the benefits thereof. So when we talk about the hidden price tag of poor leadership, it really costs. One of the first things that I can tell you about, and just giving you a few thoughts today, is one of the hidden price tags of poor leadership is the cost of turnover. The cost of turnover. See, when you don't have good leadership, you can't keep a good team. Remember, it's all about the people. People make up the business, people serve the people, and we've got to take care of our people. Understand this, statistics say that up to 213% is a normal rate for high turnover positions. 213% for high turnover. That is so expensive. It costs you 213% when you have a turning door. Let me just back into it for you. What happens is you have the cost of acquiring the talent. You have to find them. Then you have to onboard them. Then you have to train them before you can deploy them. All of these things cost you money on the front end, but don't begin to pay until the employee is ready to be a contributor to the team. Well, if you have poor leadership, it can cost you 213% to bring someone on. I like to say it a little bit differently, just to help us be clear here. When you bring someone on, depending on the nature of your business, it's going to be 6 months on the short side, up to 18 months before the person is fully productive and paying for themselves. So if you have new employees and you can't get them to stay beyond that, covering their cost, that's covering their cost day one. So you're 18 months in. Guess what? You look up and now you begin to build that. But if you can't keep them, you got to go through the whole process again. Where am I recruiting? How much time am I spending in interviewing people? How much time am I dealing with the turnover and the challenge and the loss and the keeping consistency with our accounts because we have a new rep here or a new rep there, or how are we with our efficiencies and how fast we can get things done because there's always someone new. You want to understand that when you have poor leadership, it will lead to high turnover. When people think they don't matter, they will go somewhere where they do. So it's very, very important that you understand as a leader that you cannot afford this price that we get from turnover of up to 213% is what it can cost you. Now, not only is that one of the hidden price tags of poor leadership, but additionally, there's an impact on productivity. I briefly mentioned that when you have new people and they're not yet assimilated to the organization, they're not yet well trained, they're not at full speed, what typically happens is they just can't produce as efficiently. They're going to make more mistakes. They're going to take longer to get it done because we just have to have that time to grow into the position and the role and get the experience to get the effectiveness to be able to do it at a quick speed. But research is showing us that poor leadership results in a 20 to 30% drop in productivity. It's not the employees, it's not the team, it's the leadership. When we don't take time to consider our potential pitfalls, when we don't think about best practice, when we won't learn from others, when we won't invest in trainings and in systems, and depending on the nature of your business, this could be a health situation. This could literally cost you money by employees being injured on the job if they're not trained properly. There are so many different avenues that can happen here, but just on the basic, simple part of this, if you don't train well, if you don't produce well, if you don't lead well, you're going to create a situation where the productivity of your organization will drop. Now, let's think about this. I like using statistics and I like the percentages because that's just how I think. I'm kind of a numbers nerd kind of guy, but let me just say it in this way. If I give you $10 to start with, if you have a poor leader before we get off the stage, before we start going, we're going to lose $2 to $3 of that $10 just because of our leadership. So if you want to be productive, you want to invest in your team. Remember the return I shared with you early, and the statistics are that you can expect $7 of return for every dollar you spend on leadership development. That is an amazing, astounding stat. But we're so busy trying to save money that we don't want to spend money, that we don't understand the ROI. Return on investment is very, very important. Listen, you are listening to Speaking with One Voice with your host, the coach, Rodney Payne, here with you, adding value to you and or your team. I am so excited about what we have going on as we're talking about the hidden price tag of poor leadership today. I want to invite you to think about this. You can make an investment in your team. I've got the Live to Lead program, the John Maxwell Global event. It has happened, and now we are able to bring the event to you in your organization, tailor made just for you. I've got some great presentations I'd love to work with you on. How about you set up some time with me? Go to my website, rodneyrpayne.com, get set up with a one-to-one meeting, and let's talk about how we can put a customized program together with some of these great speakers that we have, John Maxwell, Craig Groeschel, Jesse Cole, and others, that we can put together a specific program to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. So let's hop back into this topic, the hidden price tag of poor leadership. We've talked about that we have to be willing to invest because investment in leadership pays at a 7-to-1 rate. We've talked about the high cost of up to 213% of turnover just because we have high turnover in positions. We've talked about a 20 to 30% drop in productivity because of poor leadership. Now, let's talk about this. We talk about your business. In your business, one of the things that we have to understand, and that is really, really important for us to understand, is that the best businesses are going to have employee engagement, right? So what happens is when you have a leadership investment, it pays off with employee engagement. So what happens is as I invest in the team feels like they're more a part of what's going on, which creates engagement. Now, on the surface, you may not see the value in that, but let me help you see as we dig a little deeper. Employees who are engaged are more than just employees who show up and clock in and clock out, but rather they begin to become employees. An engaged employee is one who takes ownership. As they take ownership of the business, it's personal. Now, when it's personal, they're going to take care of it as if it is their own, which is what we all want. They want to take care of customers. I don't want my team to think they're working for me. I want my team to think we're working together, because that's the goal, is that we are together. And when employees engage, you get the best of every person on the team, which means your clients get the best of your team. They get the best of your organization. So when you allow employees to be engaged and you bring them in, you open up their creative centers, you open up their visibility, because who knows better what the customer needs than the one who actually delivers it? We have theories, we have concepts, we have thoughts, but when you are in the trenches and doing the job, you learn things about what we'd like to do here. You learn things about our ultimate goal, and you also learn what really works. If you want the right type of situation, you want employees who are engaged, who are not renters but are owners. You want them to be a part of what's going on in the organization. They take pride in it, and it puts us in a position for success. So if we will just take time to invest, John Maxwell says a lot of good things. One of the things he says is that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. If you care about your team, you will invest in your team. If you invest in your team is going to give you a return on that investment. You're going to grow the team. You're going to grow your leadership lid. You're going to grow your engagement. You're going to grow your efficiency, your efficacy, as well as your productivity, all because you were willing to invest. And talent acquisition, I'll just touch on this real briefly, because talent acquisition has become a really, really big thing. It always has been, but it wasn't a science to it or whatever. But now it's so competitive. It's so competitive. When I started in corporate America, it was not uncommon to go into this corporate space and your colleagues be 20, 30, 40-year employees. Now, employees are no longer, they're not staying 3 and 5 years. They're on to the new thing, the next thing, the best thing. They're going from you to the next competitor as they move their way up. That thing called loyalty is no longer there the way it once was. So now we have to earn our keep as leaders, making sure that we are willing to invest in our employees. When you invest in an employee, you get a vested employee. I love it. They are in this thing to win it. They are on your side. They're looking out for you. They're going to extend you, not duplicate you, which means they're add to you, not take away from you. And this is an extremely powerful opportunity for us. So I want you to make sure that you understand that if you have poor leadership, you'll have poor engagement. And there's a high price to pay when your team is not engaged. And let's take that and then take it one step further. I want to hop into to kind of my last thought here before we kind of begin to wrap this up. Another hidden price tag of poor leadership is what I will call your cultural cost. Now, cultural cost, and this is important because when we think about culture, culture is simply defined. I love the way Sam Chan defines it. He says it's the way we do things around here. But what ineffective leadership does is that it's harmful to the organizational culture and has a long-term financial impact and a long-term negative to our productivity impact. You think about this. When you have a bad culture, no one wants to come to work. Has anyone ever had that opportunity where you had the career, you had the job, you had the opportunity, but it was so negative, it was so toxic, it was so dysfunctional, it was so disorderly that you didn't even want to go to work. You go into places and am I the only one that does this? Leaders, lean in and talk to me for a moment. I can't go anywhere without my leadership glasses on. I can't. Everywhere I go, I see opportunities where I'm like, that's great leadership. That's effective leadership. There's no leadership here. I look at it in sporting events. I can tell when there's no leadership on the field or on the court. I'm always looking because an effective culture, you can see it. Listen, I am a huge OU football fan, the Oklahoma Sooners. Listen, I love my Sooners, and I'm a season ticket holder, and I go to every game. Why are you telling us this? Because there was a game several years ago. Baker Mayfield was the quarterback, so it was a good set of years for us. The challenge was on this particular game, it was in Norman, Oklahoma. What happened is we had a horrible rainstorm, and the rainstorm delayed the game. And when it delayed the game, we were playing Ohio State of all people, believe this or not. And so they came in the Norman, we had the break, and when the players came back to warm up and to get ready to play, I noticed the OU players were running around and playing and having a good time. Baker Mayfield was running routes and catching the ball. He's the quarterback. Why is he throwing? Listen, stay with me on the story. When I looked at the Urban Meyer, I believe was the coach at the time, led Ohio State Buckeyes. When they came out on the field to begin to reacclimate themselves, they were still in warm-ups. There was no pads. The game had to basically reset. Their culture was they didn't come to play. They came to win. Everyone was dressed the same. Everyone was running position-specific drills. They were very, very focused. They had a culture that set them apart. Now, on that day, they beat the Sooners, and they were ready. They were prepared. And, of course, we went there the next year and beat them and all that good stuff. But the point I'm trying to help you with is how you do things. That's your culture. It shows up in how you produce. And so you want to have a culture that represents who you are all the time. I never want my team to feel like they have to go and now be at their best because we have a guest, or be at their best because this is a big opportunity for us. I never want them to feel that way. I want you to always be at your best. I believe that we can have a good time being successful. I believe we can have a good time in the environment. I believe we can respect each other, have a great working environment, and get our work done. But I don't want us to have to change who we are simply because someone is coming in. I want a culture that is reflective of the excellence with which we run our brand, and that we are client focused and we're making sure that we're taking care of you. When you do that, it has a positive impact on your financials. But if you don't have effective leadership, you're going to find yourself having a bad organizational culture. And what that does is it will erode your profits. It will take your business. It will cost you customers because you have a poor culture. Oh my goodness. I hope you are getting this. I am having an amazing time. Let me just kind of recap this and we'll get out of here. But remember, you want to make sure that you invest in your leadership development there's a 1 to 7 return. You get 7 for every dollar you spend, $7 back for every dollar you spend on leadership development. The cost of turnover up to 213% for high turnover because we don't have a strong leadership culture. We're going to have reduced productivity. Remember, our productivity when we have poor leadership goes down by 20 to 30%. Our employee engagement, when we have poor leadership, they disengage. When we have good leadership or effective leadership, they engage. When they engage, they create. When they create, they make us effective and we get it done. Then finally, we want to be known for who we are. We want to have a culture of excellence. We want everyone working on their particular role, having fun, having respect, having an environment where we're stretched to perform well, but we're appreciated and we invest in our team long term. Listen, I'm out of time, really. I'm sorry I'm gonna have to run for this episode, but this is an 8-part series, and I want you to come back each week and get the next component as we talk about the cost associated with poor leadership. That's really what we're really talking about when you're unwilling to invest in your leadership. So I want you to make that decision, and I want to give you the opportunity once again. We are bringing Live to Lead to you, a John Maxwell event, and we can bring it to you within your organization for a private event. We have a list of speakers that we can mix and match and put together to build out things that are specifically for your organization. Jesse Cole, I'm calling it extreme customer service. You want to be a part of that. He will help you grow in that area. Craig Groeschel talks about exponential growth and how to manage that. John Maxwell has a couple of great sessions, and I could go on and on, but I want you to be a part of this. Valerie Burton talks about resilience. We can do any and or all of these. We are very nimble, so we want to make sure that you get what you need for your team. Reach out to us on social media at Rodney R. Payne. Follow us there. Turn on your notifications. Make sure you like and comment on our post. Also, catch this podcast, Speaking with One Voice, on our YouTube channel at Rodney R. Payne. Subscribe, click that bell, the notifications. Let us know you're watching so that we can keep adding value to you and your leadership team. Listen, as always, it is my pleasure, and I'm so glad to be back with you here on Speaking with One Voice so we can add value to you and your leadership team. Listen, you've been listening to this wonderful podcast. I know you're enjoying it. Thank you for your feedback. I am your host, the coach, Rodney Payne. Until next time, my friends, let's keep growing together. Make sure you DM me. It's this Thursday, October 9th, right here in Oklahoma City. Listen, it has been my pleasure, as always, to hang out with you here on Speaking with One Voice, adding value to you and or your leadership team. And we're done this week. That's all I got for you. So thank you for being in the room, listening to Speaking with One Voice. I am your host, the coach, Rodney Payne. Until next time, my friends, let's keep growing together.
You've been listening to Speaking with One Voice. Please remember to follow Rodney Payne on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Rodney R. Payne. We'd love to hear from you and get your feedback, so please feel free to leave us comments. And if you would, rate and subscribe to the podcast, we'd appreciate that as well. Don't forget to set up for notifications so you can get the latest updates and social media posts and get new podcasts when they're released. As always, use the hashtag Speaking with One Voice or simply SWOV on any of your social media posts. On behalf of Rodney Payne, thanks again for listening to Speaking